So like I said before, this card base with the dice in there, or the cube or Rubik's Cube or whatever version you decide to make, fits in an envelope for 5x7 cards. Now, this isn't a completely unusual size card, but perhaps you don't normally send out this size of card. Often you'll have to buy envelopes in packages of 20, 25 or whatever, and maybe you don't necessarily want that many. And because when these are flattened, they're kind of bulky, and these envelopes are not really very sturdy. You may want to make your own envelope. And my favorite tool for this is the envelope punch board. It has directions right on there. What I love about it is there's a, whatever you want to call it here. All you do is look up your card size. It tells you exactly what size of paper you need to start, and it tells you what mark to start on. So I'm going to do an envelope for a 5x7 card. I need to cut a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock, 9.5 by 9.5. And because of the way this card is and because it's a little bit bulky, I think having an envelope made with cardstock is a great way to go, because it's just going to give it a little bit more sturdiness to it when you are using it. So I've got my piece of paper at 9.5 by 9.5. My little instructions here say to start at the 4-inch mark. So what that means is I put the end of my paper on the 4-inch mark. Now, the hardest part about this is feeling where that score channel is. Then I'm going to line up this little tab here with my score line, and I'm going to do that same thing again. Now, when you have a piece of paper, or once you've turned it and you can see this piece here, it might be easier to start here and go in, because you know exactly where that channel is. Like I said, that's the hardest part of using this tool, is when you can't see that channel there, just kind of feeling for where it is and then running your tool along it. After a while, it gets a little bit easier to do, but there's the odd time I still have the little trouble with it. All right, so now we've got our pieces scored. I am going to round the edges here. One thing I forgot, once I score it, it's easy enough to line up all my pieces here. I need to punch it. I knew I was missing something. There we go. So that we're gonna have that little divot there. Easy enough to do if you happen to forget and have to go back and do it. No problem. So now we've got our piece here for our envelope. Super easy. We're gonna fold it in. You can use the tool that comes with it to give it a nice crisp fold. And then this piece here can go inside. I'm going to use my tape that I used for gluing my card together, and I'm going to glue my envelope together. And I typically put the tape here just because this flap here goes higher than it, and it's hard to know exactly where to stop. So super easy when you put the tape on the flap there. Glue it down, and then once you've got your card and everything in your envelope, you can fold that down and you can tape those down exactly the same way. And there you go, custom envelope for your card. The great thing about this tool as well is if you happen to make cards that are odd sizes, rather than having to try find an envelope for your particular card, you can just make a custom envelope to go with it. And this little score tool tucks in right there, so nice and easy to tuck in a shelf and be able to make envelopes whenever you want. Super easy.